Hey there, welcome back to Stacks of Wax Volume 19. Now you might have noticed that this is not coming out during our usual schedule where I would usually put these up once a month, and that's because, well, having 2 videos a week is becoming increasingly difficult, and for better or for worse, these are some of the easiest videos that I can film. So I've decided moving forward that every couple of weeks, as opposed to having a strict schedule of once a month with Stacks of Wax, I would just kind of sprinkle in an episode here or there. It's not going to be an every week thing by any means. I'm really hoping not to even cross over like every 3 weeks of a threshold kind of deal. I don't know, what I'm saying is it's still going to be spread out. It's still going to not be like all the time because I know that So You're Interested In does better and is probably a little bit more of an interesting video for most people. But if this is your first time, I guess I should explain what's going on here. Basically on Stacks of Wax, what I do is I go through my record collection A through Z and just really show off some of the cool pieces of wax that I own. Now that all of that is out of the way, let's get right into things, starting off with 6, yes, count it, 6 records from one artist, and that artist would be Destroyer. That's right, I love Destroyer. For a long time now, I've really liked Destroyer. Once I did the video that I made on his music, I became pretty obsessed and started collecting almost everything that he's ever put out. Obviously, with only 6, that just means that I have not gotten them all yet, and I am slowly working my way through. But for now, there is still a decent collection that I get to spin, and honestly, I love spinning his catalog. I do it pretty often, actually. I would even say more so than some of the other artists that I have a lot of records for. But anyway, this is Have We Met. Not my favorite of his, but I got this on sale. I believe this is a Newbury Comics exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. Comes on this beautiful purple, blue, wax kind of thing. I don't even know. It looks amazing. Sounds really good too. Really good pressing of this record. I'm gonna try to do these rapid fire just because there are 6 of them, and if you don't really care about Destroyer, then this is gonna be about 4 or 5 minutes that you're not really gonna be akin to watching, I guess. You wouldn't really want to do that, so I understand, I get it, so let's do this quick. So yeah, that's Have We Met. Not my favorite of his releases, but still very good. But speaking of favorite releases, if it's not number 1, it's definitely up there. This is Kaput. This is the 10-year anniversary pressing, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, it was whatever anniversary just came up. It was definitely the 10-year, and I believe that's why they did this extra pressing of it. Comes in this nice gatefold, nice packaging. That's a gorgeous LP, man. I mean, it's fucking beautiful. That is a perfect blue. I love it. And the nice thing about this specific pressing is that it does have an extra song on it. And by song, I literally mean an entire side of a disc. I believe this song's like 17 minutes long or something like that. I'm very happy to have picked this up and get a copy when I was able to, because I think this is going for a decent price online if I ever decide to sell it, which I doubt it. I use this record a lot. I really like listening to it. And once again, if you are at all interested in listening to or discovering Destroyer's music, I do have a video on this channel that I highly recommend checking out. I don't like to toot my horn very often, but I gotta admit, I wrote a pretty good script for that one. I think it came out pretty well. Anyway, next Destroyer record, this is Labyrinthitis. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I know I learned it at some point and already forget. I have actually not even opened this copy yet. I haven't listened to it on wax. I believe this is just a standard black pressing, if I'm not mistaken. Does it say it on here? No, it does not. Oh well, anywho, this was his latest release. I liked it quite a bit, but apparently not enough to open it up and listen to it yet. But I got that kind of recently, so I don't feel too bad about this. Then we have another one that, did I open this yet? I did open this, okay. This is Poison Season. This was the follow-up to Kaput 2015. 2015 release? I thought it was earlier than that, but whatever. It's a nice textured cover as well. Nice gatefold. But yeah, this is just on standard black vinyl. Still nice though. It's a quality pressing, and I'm happy to have it and listen to it from time to time. I gotta admit, this was kind of my fear about getting back into doing this show, because I knew I was really gunning for like actual collections of, you know, full artist discographies and stuff like that. So there are going to be episodes going forward, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you like to look at things, where it will be very one artist centric heavy on like certain episodes. It's just kind of going to be the way that it is, unfortunately. But hopefully you like Destroyer, because we also have Destroyer's Rubies here. One of my other favorites of his. I mean, good God, so many fantastic songs. European Oils, A Dangerous Woman, Up to a Point, Watercolors into the Ocean. I don't know. Fantastic record. I love it. I think this was Destroyer really coming into his own, just artistically. Don't get me wrong, I love a lot of his earlier material, Nice gatefold here. One record that I still need to get from his earlier discography is Street Hawk. This is also standard black. It is a repress. It is a, I forget what year repress. I don't know. It's a very nice copy though, I gotta admit. It sounds great. I don't know if I've spun it on my new system yet, but I should probably do that because I'm sure this sounds freaking amazing. Then the final Destroyer record that I have in my collection as of now is Thief. This is a repress. Yes, this is a repress. So I'm pretty sure the original is like actually pretty tough to find, so I don't even know why I second guess myself. Of course it's a repress. And it comes on this lovely orange. Very lovely orange. A little bit of red sprinkled in there too. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. So yes, obviously I still have a couple of Destroyer records to go until I have completed that discography, but we are slowly working on it. I know my local record store does have 1 or 2 copies of some things that I should pick up at some point, but I do a couple of other priorities since I've moved on a little bit further away from Destroyer's music since putting out that video, but we will definitely be getting to it at some point, I'm sure. I'm sure I'll just walk in and just grab it one day. But let's move on to an artist that I also have a couple of records from, and that would be Devo. This is Devo Live. This is a short little cut, I guess from like a full concert. I never really got the full gist of the story here. I bought this used. It was pretty cheap. I'm slowly trying to get into Devo, which is weird, right? Most people buy records after they like the artist or whatever, and I guess that's how it's been with streaming and all that moving forward in time. It just makes more sense and is more cost effective, I guess. But not if you're an idiot like myself, because I decided I want to get into Devo. I saw like 2 Devo records sitting in the used section for pretty cheap prices, decided to pick them up, and now I am definitely getting into Devo. I'm like kind of forcing myself to do that, and I think it's awesome because I really like what they have. Yeah, it's a nice live record. Just a couple of tracks on here. Nothing too crazy. I would love to find like a full double LP of a concert, which I'm sure exists. I have not done my Devo homework, so I apologize. You're probably all screaming at me right now in the comments, but that's fine. Then we have Devo Duty Now for the Future. This was the other one that I picked up when I got this live one. This is neat though, because it is the 2015 repress, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's 2015, whatever, I can't find it. We're gonna move on. And it comes on this lovely magenta. I guess that's what you call it. I don't know fucking colors. What do I look like? I passed kindergarten? I don't know if this is like a Devo fan favorite or not, but I certainly like it a lot. Glad I picked this up. Definitely happy to start my voyage into Devo's music a little bit deeper, which is pretty rad, because I don't think I would have listened to this if I just went on to streaming. So it's kind of nice to force my hand from time to time like that. And then one more Devo record, but it's actually 2 Devo records. Oh no, it's Devo. One copy I bought like a month ago, once again in the used section that I found at a record store. And then this one, the other one, I actually got from a collection that I recently picked up like a couple days ago, a week ago, whatever it is at this point. I got like 40-ish records from that collection from somebody who was kind of just giving them away. And I knew I already had it, but screw it, I'll get another one. I'll sell one of these at some point or give it to somebody who wants it. I don't really care. You know, I don't really benefit from the money as much as I do knowing that somebody can enjoy this record on their own. But yeah, both of these are actually the exact same pressing, at least according to Discogs when I was doing my work logging these in. Kind of funny that I would end up with 2 of the exact same copies of this record within like a month without me really actively trying to do so. Then we've got 2 from Dinosaur Jr. That's right, we have the self-titled record here. I've yet to open this up. I got this for like stupidly cheap from like a 6131 sale or something like that over, I guess the holidays or something along those lines. This is not my favorite Dinosaur Jr. release, but there are some like unreal songs on this thing. I really do love this record, even if it doesn't get as much love I guess I should give it in comparison to some of the other albums that I really do like in their discography. But yeah, just a simple repress, and if I got it for that cheap from an online store, that means they probably had an excess amount of it, so you know, it is what it is. Nothing too crazy or rare there, and that kind of goes with this one as well. You're Living All Over Me. Just a simple repress. Doesn't really say on the back there, but that's okay. And this is also just on black vinyl, if I'm not mistaken. I do have a video on Dinosaur Jr. if you are interested into getting into their music. If you haven't already, go check that out, blah, blah, blah. That's Dinosaur Jr. I would like to add a couple more of their records into my collection as time goes on, so hopefully we'll get there at some point. But alas, we move forward to the Dischord Flex Your Head comp. To pull the curtains back for a second, I usually go through my Discogs alphabetically, try to remember or make sure I don't double up on records that I've already talked about in the past on this show. And somehow I completely forgot to write this one down, and while I was grabbing all the records, I saw it and was like, why didn't I put that there? Yeah, this is sick. This is like one of the best hardcore comps of all time, in my opinion, especially in terms of early hardcore, you know, in the DC scene, obviously Dischord, stuff like that. If you know the history, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You also know exactly what this comp is. But yeah, I got this used, which is in like spectacular condition. This is like stupidly nice for a used copy, and it is just on black. I couldn't recall if it was on red or not. I think the red one was in my want list on Discogs for a long time. I do believe it goes for like a decent chunk of change, so glad to have gotten this used in excellent condition for like $15 or whatever it was. But yeah, you got Teen Idols, you got Minor Threat, Government Issue, Youth Brigade, Iron Cross, Deadline, amongst many, many others on this comp. Yeah, it's chock full of shit, man. If this is what you like, if hardcore is what you're into, this is almost a necessary have, at least in my opinion, in terms of early hardcore history. Going from one end of hardcore to the next, we actually have Discreet with This Is Mine. This is their latest release. It came on Convulse Records last year, and I actually just listened to it for the first time like a week or two ago. Now, I do have to admit that my cousin plays drums in this band, so I might be a little biased when I say any of this stuff, but no, I genuinely did like this. I can't believe that I accidentally forgot about listening to it for so long, so I'm glad to have finally done it. And I did get it on this cool silver metallic gray, whatever you want to call it, pressing. Looks really neat with the red in the middle, in my opinion. I don't know, it's like a stark contrast there that I dig pretty hard. Also, this is just a single LP, but it is a gatefold, and the gatefold art is spectacular. It is lovely. You got two pigs fucking up here. That's pretty cool. Over on this side, I don't know, you're entering a portal into a moon-shaped pool by Radiohead, I guess. I have no idea. Very nice packaging. I have a record coming in this week, or next week, I believe, from Convulse. That'll be the new MS Paint record, which if you haven't listened to it already, go fucking listen to it. I swear to God, if you don't, I'm gonna hunt you down. Very excited to see how that pressing turns out, because Convulse does pretty good shit when it comes to packaging their records, so let's hope that trend continues. Next up is another used copy here, a classic. Of course, I had to get it. I mean, how would I not? It's the Doors self-titled. I do not remember exactly what pressing this is. It sounds pretty good. I know, you know, it's like a slight hiss and all that, but hey, that's, you know, what you get when you buy used. I'm okay with that for the most part, especially if it's not like a record that I love or like am obsessed with or something along those lines. This is just something that I'm glad to finally have in my collection because I do like it quite a bit. Obviously, it is a classic. It is a great record. I am not too particular when it comes to albums that I'm not actively seeking to have, but am pleasantly surprised when I see it in a used section and I pick it up. So yeah, overall the quality, it does sound pretty darn good. And I am happy about that because I'm glad I didn't waste $10. And last but certainly not least, we have Dos Manos. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It is Lardarello. I don't know. I don't think I've ever had to say that name out loud before. This is a Death Bomb Arc release. I picked this up when I picked up a couple of their records not too long ago. I believe I mentioned that actually in the previous video. I have yet to spin this. I listened to one of their older records, I believe it's from like 2019, and I did like it quite a bit. But this one I just never got around to hearing yet, so I'll have to spin this at some point. It is some weird like experimental hip hop type stuff. I don't know, I'm intrigued because I did like their previous release, and that's why I ended up picking this up in the first place. I didn't even hear this when it first came out too. But I always love supporting Death Bomb Arc. Oh wow, it's perfect condition. Nice. But yeah, I always love supporting Death Bomb Arc. They seem to always be doing good stuff, or at the very least attempting to do good stuff and pushing the limits of what experimental music can be and promoting experimental music and stuff like that. So I'm always very appreciative of what they do, even if I'm not in love with all of their projects. I don't know. And that's kind of why I come back to support things like this when I can, because they do good work. They seem like they're good people. Same thing with Dos Manos, you know, so we'll continue to support DVA until proven that they shouldn't be supported. But they've been around for 25 years this year, which is fucking insane. So I don't see any of that bad shit ever happening in the future. But yeah, that's it. That is going to wrap up this episode of Stacks of Wax. I hope you enjoyed. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate it. Also, hopefully this is going to be nice so I can kind of keep doing these rapid fire, vinyl showing videos in the future where we're not waiting for a month and also not overcrowding the channel with these videos. I don't know, it's a little bit of a nice breath of fresh air for me since I don't have to like write out an entire script for it or listen to an entire band's discography for it. It's very easy. It's very nice. So yeah, like I said, that's it. That's this episode of Stacks of Wax. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe for more videos just like this. Every couple of weeks is kind of where we're landing on the schedule at this point. You can also check out the other series that I have on this channel, so you're interested in, where I go through an artist discography and really pick out the best starting point in order to dive further into their catalog. As I mentioned earlier, there are some videos in that series on artists that were mentioned in this video, such as Destroyer, Dinosaur Jr, and I believe that's it for this edition. But yeah, that's it. Just be sure to go out and support your local record store if you are able to, along with the local artists in your area. And, well, until I see you next time, happy listening.